Hey guys, Recruitman here, and I wanted to go over a video on how to triple mine IRONFISH, Ergo, and Zill on Gminer. So basically, I decided to start triple mining this combination yesterday. I didn't really see any guides online that went in depth on how to set it up, so I figured I'd add my own. Now there are some disclaimers. This guide will only work with with NVIDIA GPUs. It will not work with AMD GPUs. And this guide has only been tested on the 3000 series. I'm sure it will work with the 2000 series and maybe the 1000 series, but I honestly don't know. I have not tested it on them, so I cannot confirm. Finally, my overclock settings are not yours. You're going to have to tweak every one of your rigs individually. I have quite a few rigs, and I actually had to change the settings on all of them. So I'm going to give you a baseline guide. I'm going to give you recommendations on parameters, but it's going to be up to you to tweak them. And hopefully this video will show you how to do that. And basically it'll just be a bunch of trial and error for you to get to the efficiency that works best for you in your situation. So about 2 weeks ago, Gminer added IRONFISH, IRONFISH plus Zill, and Ergo IRONFISH and Zill, along with Conflux as well. You can basically apply this guide to Conflux over Ergo if you want, but I'm going to mostly be focusing on Ergo, IRONFISH, and Zill. Version 3.39 just made everything a little more stable, and version 3.40 improved the hash rate on IRONFISH by 10%. So make sure you are at the latest version 3.4.0. So next thing we're going to go over is how to set this up in Hive. If you look at the image on the left, it basically shows you how you set up the basics of the flight sheet. You only need to set up the first coin, which is Ergo. You're going to do Ergo, then your wallet, then the pool, and then you're going to do Gminer. And then you're going to click on the Setup Miner config, and the box on the left is then what you need to focus on. So the extra config arguments is what we really need to focus on. The first setting is dual algo IRONFISH. It basically says to mine IRONFISH. The second line says the server you're going to use, and then the third one is your address, a .worker name, standard thing. This will work on Windows as well. Then you want to put the zilserver on the bottom. I'm using Crazy Pool for now. Then you put your ziluser worker name, and then you set the overclock settings. I will put a starting point of the overclock settings in the comments down below, but it's up to you to tweak it. The two big things you need to know, well, the three big things you need to know for this: for power level, when you put 80, it doesn't mean the power will stay on like only 80 watts. It means that we use 80% maximum of the GPU's total power level. So make sure you guys know that. And then on the bottom, there's fan and zilfan. So when it goes to Zill, the fan will have its own settings. So you want to make sure they're probably the same, or maybe you put the zilfan higher. For me, it's summer, so most of mine are at 90. And then finally, we're going to go over the two big things for the overclocks. The first one is the locked core clock. The higher the core clock, the more power you will use, and the better your ergo hash rate will be. The lower the core clock, the less ergo hash rate, the less power you use. Use this in conjunction with the DI. The higher the DI, the more IRONFISH hash rate you use, the more power you use. The lower the DI, the less IRONFISH you mine. You get a little more ergo out of it, and the less power you use. So you end up finding a mix of the locked core clock. You find a mix of the core clock and the DI settings to get the best efficiency settings for you. All right, so here's the GPU we're using to test this. This is the one I used to set up my configuration first. It's a 3060 Ti, and it's on my test bench. So we're going to be using this to show you the difference between the DI settings and the core clock settings. Alright guys, here you can see at the settings that I just showed for the 3060 Ti on my bench. The leftmost yield is Ergo, the rightmost yield is IRONFISH. Alright, so I increased my DI from 4.2 to 5.2, and you can see the difference along with the power and the efficiency. Just wanted to show you that right here. Now let's change it up one more time. Let's change it up by, it went up a little bit, as you can see. Or actually it went down a little bit. But let's go ahead and change the core clock so you can see how that will affect the ergo hash rate. In this example, you can see that I kept the DI the same and I raised the core clock, and you can see the difference there. It's not that much for ergo, but it is more, and it does use more power. Now, let me go ahead and lower the DI and show you how that will change. So, as you can see, I dialed back the DI, and look at how much my iron settings have gone down. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Now remember, keep in mind that these settings are just baselines. You're going to have to tweak everything individually to get the best efficiency or whatever works best for you. I just wanted to show you how everything worked and how if you adjust specific settings, you will improve or decrease hash rate and power usage. Thank you again for watching. Please like and subscribe. Crewman out.